Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. On today's video I'm gonna do a nice trimming on this Dynamite Diesel. We're gonna start from the small buds first and then move on to the bigger ones. So let's start. Usually when trimming my buds I prefer it a bit more dry. This bud has been drying upside down for about six days, and as you can see it still has got some moisture in it. This week I was a bit tight on time, so I had to do the trimming today since I have no more time to do this job, since it takes a bit of time. Basically in this video all I'm going to do is trim my buds here. As you can see I am holding the branch from the bottom and try to minimize touching the buds as little as possible. By doing that you will lose less resin. As you can see it's fully covered with resin and trichomes, this one, and you just work your way up from the bottom, slowly moving upwards. If the branch is too long, you just move your finger up and hold it between the buds. When trimming, I try to take my time in doing so. I like to remove as much leaf material as possible, since they tend to leave a bad taste when smoking. Also, if you remove some buds, don't worry, or a bit of pistils, or a bit more from the bud itself, don't worry, we're not gonna throw those trimmings away. I'm gonna tell you and show you also what I do with the trimmings, since I don't like to waste nothing. Here we're almost finished trimming the first of the small buds. Just some finishing touches to remove a couple of more leaf tips here and there, and also it's nice to have a nicely trimmed bud. I'll show you in just a moment how covered it is with resin. It's beautiful, the smell is incredible. It has gassy notes, also some sweet notes, if it makes sense. I think it's going to be a good hitter, this one. Also super sticky. Get to another bud and do the same thing all over again, starting from the bottom, holding it from the stem, and moving up slowly. Also, as you can see, I gently rotate the stem or the bud, and in the way removing leaves from the other sides, so it's all nice, rounded up and clean. One drawback I found when doing wet trimming, or the buds are not so dry like these, is you tend to have sticky scissors. This is caused by the accumulation of resin on the scissors. It causes the scissors not to cut properly. When your scissors don't cut properly and the buds are wet, especially, you can cause the spillage of chlorophyll on the buds, which will result in a bad taste. So in order to avoid having blunt scissors, here this is my remedy. With only these two buds, as you can see, the scissors are full of resin. This is my remedy. I get this glass of clear liquid, and no, it's not water. This is ethanol, 99% pure, and I'm just gonna immerse the scissors and sort of chop the liquid Like this you will loosen some of the resin that is accumulated on the tips of the scissors. By doing this only will not remove all the hash that's on the tips. So I just use a sharp straight edge knife or a blade and gently scrape everything from the tips of the scissors. After immerging it in alcohol, it comes off very easily, and then I'm going to clean my knife in that same ethanol alcohol. Now the scissors are almost fully clean. I start by first cleaning the knife in the ethanol alcohol. It will dissolve. As you can see, it came out clean. And now I'm gonna do this thing once again with the knife. Slowly remove any excess alcohol and wipe dry the scissors with a clean cloth, and then we can continue our job. As you can see, I gently move my fingers to hold the branch in a better position, and I do that by holding it from in between the nodes in order not to touch the buds, as we said before. Now the scissors again are becoming full and stuck with resin. Again, it's time for another dip in the alcohol. Do the same thing again, the chop motion in the alcohol with the scissors first. Then we move on to clean it a bit better with the knife from both sides. I clean the scissors again in the alcohol, and by now the alcohol is turning a bit green. That means the resin is dissolving in the alcohol. And lastly, I clean again the knife. I dry the scissors with the clean cloth again, and back to business. By now, a nice pile of sugar leaves trimmings is being accumulated, and we will keep that for another video, as I explained before. Here I'm finishing trimming the last of the small buds. Nicely done. And now we move on to the bigger buds. Just zoom in just a little bit, and we start with this nice branch here. It's nicely dense and packed. It's the same, full of resin, decent size, smell is amazing. Also has got some nice tint of purple. I don't know if you can see it in the video. And we do the same on this one. We start from the bottom and work our way up. This for me is really satisfying. This is when all your efforts in growing the plant and harvesting it, and finally you are down to trimming, and you are rewarded with this beautiful plant, very dense, packed full of resin, and smelling absolutely amazing. And we go for another branch, and we do the same as before. We work our way up from the bottom And here we have another beautiful nice cola, thicker and denser than the other one, but jam-packed with resin just as the same. Let's admire this nice cola for a moment. There it has some nice tint, small tint of purple on top. We move on yet to another branch, and the scissors are feeling that are not cutting as good anymore. So time for another bath. This time I'm cleaning it with the knife first from both sides. See, nice scissor hash. I will keep this as a present for myself later on tonight. Nice and sticky and gooey. Now I collect this. I will not put it in the alcohol. I will put it aside for later use. And now with the usual routine of the scissors in the alcohol. Clean them well, dry them, and we can go back to business. Nice and clean, shiny, not sticking anymore. They are good to go. So yet we move on to another nice branch. And now we get back to the main cola. As you can see, it's full with buds, and the same as before, it's sticky, super sticky, and the scissors are not cutting as good enough, as you can see in the video here. So it's time for another cleanup. I do the same routine as well. I start by collecting the scissor hash and putting it to the side, then cleaning the scissors and then the knife. Last bit of trimming, and this is done as well. I tap it a bit to remove some of the sugar leaves that did not fall. They stuck, and there we have it. Just a couple here that I did not get before, and for me this is done as well. Nicely dense and packed. This obviously, since it is not fully dried, they will go in the drying room for another couple of days, and I will then put them in jars for the curing process. These sugar leaf trimmings won't go to waste, and we'll keep them for another video for next time. Until the next video, thanks for watching.